There is no doubt that the Rocky Mountain elk is not only one of the most popular of all North American big game species, but also one of the most majestic. Another fact all elk hunters will attest to is that venturing into this creature's Rocky Mountain strongholds on foot is one of the most physically demanding hunts you will ever endure. Aaron Neilson is a professional outfitter, guide, booking agent, and a man naturally drawn to wild places. The more demanding the hunt, the higher it will rank on his personal must-do list. That Aaron lives in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado is not coincidence, as it is within striking distance of some of the best elk hunting in North America. Mid-November found Aaron pointing his pickup toward the rugged mountains of southeast Wyoming, but November had arrived in the Rockies with a roar, and the bulls had headed into the Badlands, where guts are more important than luck. Join Aaron Neilson in the Wyoming high country as he pits himself not only against the elk, but also against the elements, as we open the pages of Trigicon's World of Sports Afield.
Trigicon's World of Sports Afield has been brought to you by Trigicon, Brilliant Aiming Solutions, DSC, the Dallas Safari Club, Ruger Firearms, Hornady Manufacturing, Accurate, Deadly, Dependable, the Wildlife Gallery Custom Taxidermy Studio, Leica Sport Optics, Boyd Harness Company, Global Rescue, anytime, anywhere, the Wild Sheep Foundation, and by Les Chameaux, handcrafted since 1927.
Right here, this is a hunt I've been looking forward to for a long time. Got lucky this year finally and drew this Wyoming elk tag. That's not very common, but should be a really good time. We're heading to Wyoming where our hunt starts tomorrow for 10 days. Should be really exciting, and we're looking forward to getting up there, getting after these big bulls they've got in Wyoming.
Aaron Neilson literally grew up in the hunting world, and Aaron has turned his passion into a business lifestyle. Aaron has left his boot prints on most of the globe's game fields, and during his career has participated in countless hunts, albeit from several perspectives. As the owner of Global Hunting Resources, a hunting consulting and booking business based in Denver, Aaron assists sportsmen from around the world in their pursuit of big game adventures. Then there is Aaron Neilson, the hunter. Aaron has an impressive resume of trophies to his credit, the result of his dedication to the pursuit of adventure. Africa is a particular passion, so much that Aaron trained for and passed the professional hunter's requirements for the country of Tanzania, where he spends much of the season guiding clients on safari. In his role as a professional big game guide, Aaron can often be found in the field with clients who count on his knowledge and hunting expertise to help them find and take a wide variety of big game species in his hunting areas.
My company, Global Hunting Resources, we have spent years and years guiding elk hunters across the West, in fact, mainly in our home state of Colorado. And growing up as a young man, you know, elk hunting really was always my favorite thing to do. And although nowadays I spend most of my time behind a set of binoculars looking for elk and helping clients and deer and so on and so forth, I do enjoy the opportunity when I get to come out from behind the guide role and be the hunter. And this was a great opportunity when I drew this tag in southeastern Wyoming, a great bull elk tag. I was really excited. Now I was going to get a chance to go after a big bull elk for myself.
The Rocky Mountain elk is an adaptable creature that can thrive in a wide variety of habitats. Herd animals during much of the year, Elk will seek out country where food, water, and cover meet their needs and prepare them for the seasonal changes that affect their lives. With the coming of fall, the bulls will prepare for the mating season, commonly referred to as the rut. Bull elk, from younger males eager to mate for the first time to massive herd bulls who dominate larger groups of cows, all begin search for females. Bulls will break away from bachelor groups and begin solitary searches for receptive cows. This period will see a great deal of activity as bulls are constantly on the move through their territory. Their haunting bugle can be heard throughout both day and night as the bulls vocalize their position and intent to all other elk within hearing. Early fall will find elk at surprisingly low altitudes, often in relatively open country, where their urge to breed takes them away from the heavy cover they prefer. Calling is an excellent way to lure a bull into shooting range and can result in close and exciting encounters. But as the rut ends and fall advances toward winter, bull elk will often head to higher altitudes and extremely rugged country, where they seek peace and solitude. Aaron Neilson is headed uphill when Trijicon's World of Sports Afield returns. The Hunting Tradition, brought to you by Dallas Safari Club.
I'm Diana Rupp, Editor-in-Chief of Sports Afield magazine, with this week's installment of The Hunting Tradition. You probably never thought of him as a hunter, but John James Audubon, the famous artist and naturalist, once said, "I call birds few when I shoot less than 100 per day." Fact is, back in the early 1800s, when Audubon was doing his work, it was commonplace for artists to shoot birds in order to paint them. After all, they didn't have good binoculars back then, and shooting a bird was the only way to get a good look at it. Like many true hunters, Audubon was an outstanding naturalist as well as a painter. You can learn more about the hunting tradition in every issue of Sports Afield magazine and at sportsafield.com.
Holy cow, it's only like 60-mile-an-hour winds this morning. I mean, it is cold, cold, cold. Cold. But I guess we're gonna go up over this rock, hopefully get behind the wind and start glassing for these bulls, see if we can find one. But holy cow, I'm glad we won't be too far from the truck, because I mean, it is brutal here today. It's gotta be 60-mile-an-hour wind. I have no idea how strong the wind's blowing, but I've never seen nothing like this in my life. I don't know, the sun's just coming up, and as you can see, it is just unreal wind. I mean, it's so bad that I don't know how we would hunt. I don't know how you'd shoot anything. I don't even know how I'm going to glass, but we're going to do our best. There's two bulls straight across there, just small bulls. But obviously getting on the leeward side of the hill to get out of this wind, we just got to start looking.
Oftentimes when you're in this high country, you got to spend a lot of time behind the binoculars. And it's amazing how long you can sit in one location for 2, 3, 4 hours and not see anything, and all of a sudden something materializes. You got to be dedicated to sitting there in these rough conditions, glassing long distances. We saw a fair number of bulls, but you got to spend the real time to find the one that you're looking for.
What's going on, Aaron? Turn around here. I think we're going to pack our stuff up and see if we can get to another location, and maybe, you know, within a mile of that elk, and try to get a better look. Probably take a few hours, but at least we're there, we can get closer to him and get a better look at him too.
Mobility on the hunter's part is an important element on a mountain hunt. The more ground you cover, the more game you'll put your glasses on.
Without question, one of the #1 keys to success is you've got to be knowledgeable of the area you're hunting. Nobody knows this area better than my good friend Mike Walkery. He's been a guide and outfitter in this area for 20 years. His father's been doing it even longer than him, a whole family operation. And although I'm quite confident in my own elk hunting abilities, having Mike with me was going to be a big part of our success. One of the difficulties of hunting big mountain country like this is oftentimes you can way out hunt with your optics what you can hunt on your feet. And you're looking at huge country, you can see miles away. In fact, the first day of the hunt, about 4 to 5 miles away, we located what was without a doubt one of the biggest bull elk I've ever seen in the wild. And unfortunately, he was just not within the realm of what we could handle. And that's a difficulty you just have to deal with sometimes.
We have no idea what we're doing on top of this mountain today. Our guide says we're going to kill a bull. I think what we're killing is brain cells. But he leads and we follow. That's just the way it goes.
Well, by this point, we had spent the better part of a week already up in this rugged country with the wind beating us to death, trying to find the bull that I was looking for. You know, this morning we had some fresh snow. We knew that the wind was still going to be blowing as it normally is, although it did die down for us a bit. And we got up there, had a lot of fresh, good snow conditions, very clear day, and we were hoping this was going to be the day that we were going to be able to find and locate a really big bull.
Well, so far we've got 5 bulls down here. There's a couple of nice bulls, but I don't know if they're nice enough to go all the way down there for in this stuff, but you know, still looking for that really big monster. They're good 6x6s, but he said he saw 8 bulls in here the other day with one real giant. So far there's 5. We're hoping this is the same group, and there's some timber in there. Maybe they're in there.
You know, this hunt was truly going to be a test of endurance, and not necessarily from the most physical standpoint, although it was, but the endurance of the weather and the wind in particular. It was just the most unbelievable thing I've ever experienced on an actual hunting trip.
It's gut check time in the mountains of Wyoming as Aaron endures the elements in search for a bull. We're on the move when Trijicon's World of Sports Afield returns.
It took me just a minute to get over to Mike, and he was telling me, he said, hey, look, Aaron, I think I found our bull.
We found a big one now. We've got a big one located. 1,700 miles away. But he's a big bull. We need to try to keep an eye on him.
Well, the fact is, the bull was still quite a ways away from us, and we were going to have to come back down off the mountain and circle all the way down below and then come up through another canyon. So, you know, we were keeping an eye on the bull the best we could. We knew he was going to be trying to find a place to bed down pretty quickly, and it was probably going to be 3 hours that we were going to be out of sight of this bull, and hopefully going to try to be able to relocate him before we lost him.
We're starting to get down in here, a little closer to where he was. Still probably, I don't know, half, 3/4 of a mile, probably 3/4 of a mile. But now it's going to be trying to find him. It's going to be the hard part.
We got down into where we were expecting or hoping to find the bull, and quite frankly, it was a lot of just broken, rugged timber fall country, and so we knew this was going to be very difficult. We finally decided after about 30 minutes of glassing from a vantage point, we said, look, we're just going to have to go down in there but see if we can locate him before he sees us. Mike and I were moving along very slowly, trying to look, I mean, literally in front of us, behind us, everywhere we could potentially think this bull might be. And I was just right behind Mike, and I had just told him, I said, Mike, I think we need to cut up just a hair to the right here. And just as we went a few more steps forward, he looked back, clear back over his left shoulder, and immediately just fell right to the ground. He said, Aaron, don't move, don't move. He said, I can see him. He's right over there, and we had located him laying down. Well, Mike and I hit the ground, and immediately I ranged him, and he was over 400 yards, and I said, hey, Mike, look, you stay right here. I'm going to move down below this little draw and come up on this next little ridge. Should put me 80 or 100 yards closer to him, and try to see if we can get over there and hopefully get a shot at him.
Aaron settles in for a long, cold wait as we continue our Wyoming elk hunt on Trijicon's World of Sports Afield returns. And now, Inside the Hunt, brought to you by Hornady. Elk, like so many mountain species, are often taken using spot and stalk techniques. The first requirement for this method of hunting to be successful is, of course, spotting the game. The ability to locate game at extreme range requires a spotting scope, a piece of gear developed with this task as its primary purpose. Properly used, a spotting scope allows the hunter to cover vast areas from a convenient location. If game is spotted, the increased magnification of the spotting scope allows the user to judge trophy quality, numbers of animals present, direction of movement, and the best route to the game if a stalk is decided upon. The hunter who invests in this important tool will save countless back-breaking, leg-burning hours hiking up and down mountains where game is either absent or the trophy potential of distant game spotted with conventional binoculars is not what the hunter hoped for. Spotting scopes let your eyes do the work before your legs are required to start a vertical ascent.
Well, this had a good side and a bad side. Fortunately, I was able to get down, sneak over. He had no idea we were there. The bad side was that he was laying in a very unshootable position, and I was going to have to wait for him to stand up. And let me tell you what, that was now the waiting game began.
We got him right here at 325 yards. And he's a big 6x7, but he's just at a bad angle. I just really don't want to shoot him like that. It's in that thick stuff. I'm going to get one shot at him. And if I mess it up, he's going to be gone.
The difficulty now was going to be how long are we going to sit here and wait for this bull to get up. And let me tell you what, I sat there for 2.5 hours with my eye glued to my Trijicon scope. And I was willing with every ounce of me that I had to try to get this bull to stand up. Because look, it's cold. I mean, me and my camera guy are freezing our rear ends off. We're hoping like heck this bull's gonna get up and present a shot without leaving. It was one of the most miserable 2.5 hours I've ever spent waiting to try to shoot something in my life. Well, as you know, any big bull elk is a lot more conditioned to laying out in the elements than a cameraman and a hunter. But we just had no choice. And fortunately for us, after about 2.5 hours, sure enough, he got up, and now it was my time to rock.
We smoked him, baby. We smoked him. But I tell you what, after, I don't know, 3 hours, I would say that we've been sitting here. Finally, he got up, turned, and stayed in a position where we could finally shoot him. Oh, my Lord. Big bull, big 6x7. Very good bull, we're thrilled. Man, I just am glad we can get up and move.
Right there.
That's a big bull. I'm very, very happy with this. Oh, yeah. Very happy with this bull. Mike, actually, we were clear on top of that mountain this morning, and Mike spotted him up there and wheeled me over, and I came over and took a look, and I said, oh yeah, I'll shoot that bull, Mike. And so Mike took us around, down, you know, a couple hours to get down in here to him, but here he is. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it, dude. You did a great job. This is a heck of a bull, and I'm real happy with this one.
Probably for me, the most special part of this hunt was not just the bull and the trophy that it provided me, but it also provided me the experience of really earning an elk, really earning the right to be out there in the wilderness, experiencing the difficulty of the conditions. And the truth is, I'm very proud of the quality of the bull that I shot and the trophy that I got. But I'm just as proud of the fact that I was able to hang in there. My cameraman was able to hang in there. Mike, who's rugged and tough as heck, he obviously was pushing us and stuck it out with us. And when you combine the fact that we shot a great bull in these difficult conditions, that's what really makes this hunt to me a special deal.
Trijicon's World of Sports Afield has been brought to you by Trijicon, Brilliant Aiming Solutions, DSC, the Dallas Safari Club, Ruger Firearms, Hornady Manufacturing, Accurate, Deadly, Dependable, the Wildlife Gallery Custom Taxidermy Studio, Leica Sport Optics, Boyd Harness Company, Global Rescue, anytime, anywhere, the Wild Sheep Foundation, and by Les Chameaux, handcrafted since 1927. Closed captioning brought to you in part by Les Chameaux.